Oh my God, the worst gig ever probably. Like, I've done a million corporates, and I've told the story before, but I got this big gig because Seinfeld shouted me out. And once Seinfeld did that...
I was at the Mets game he shouted you out at.
That's
I was
crazy.
sitting in the stands.
You know, it's crazy. He's shouting me out, whatever, and it didn't do shit for my career. I thought, oh, I'll be selling out the next day. It didn't make a blip.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good for me, and my mom fingered herself and all that, but other than that, it was...
hey, Mom.
Oh, sorry. She knows. She's done it. And, yeah, so what was I saying? Sorry, your mom's distracting me. Yeah. So, but what it did do was these corporates hit me up like, who's this whiz kid that Seinfeld's talking about, you know?
Sure.
And so I got hired by all these giant pharmaceutical, Ford Motor Company. Money. It was a good year.
Yeah.
And I bombed every single one of them. But this one in particular, they bought me a tuxedo. They got me a limo to Philadelphia in this beautiful ballroom. It was a drug company. It was like the Oscars for drugs.
Right.
For like pills and Pfizer and all this shit. And it was a 3-hour thing. I was supposed to do 15 minutes up top and actually, you know, Jimmy Kimmel, do the award show.
Sure.
Ellen DeGeneres, whatever it was. Billy Crystal. So I bombed the first 15 minutes. This is like the biggest gig of my life.
How many people are there, would you say, roughly?
Huh?
How many people?
I don't know, 600 in a ballroom, tuxedo. It's like, that's the guy who owns routers, and that's the guy who invented the iPhone.
Harvey
6.
Weinstein.
Yeah, all those guys were there. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Al Gore. It was crazy.
Oh, my God.
I know. And so I got to do all the, you know, the best antidepressant goes to the doo-da-da. You know, all the drugs that sound like black women's names. And so I'm in the tuxedo. I go up. They hate me already. I got to eat dinner with them, too. And then they go, Mark Norman, the host. And I go up there. There's a big podium and everything. And the first 15 minutes, I die.
Zero.
And I'm doing Tonight Show, like, tested
Norman,
material.
You got great. If you ask Mark to do his A stuff, it's killer shit.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And obviously clean and all that. So I was like, man, this is a tough group. But I did one joke about a vibrator, but it's very clean. It's just, I mentioned the word vibrator once. I see a woman get up in the back. She walks out. I go, whatever. She's probably menstruating or miscarriaging or whatever it is. And then I go back, to my act, blah, 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 bombing, whatever. Then we go into the award show, and I'm bringing up, this guy won. He comes up, says this little thing with the trophy. I make fun of him, and then they didn't like that. So at one point, somebody's giving a speech, and I have a moment off to the side, and this lady in a headset's like, get over here. She's like, you pissed off the CEO's wife. She's furious. She's chewing him out in the lobby. I don't know what's going to happen, but it ain't pretty. And she's kind of crying a little bit. I'm like, what is going on? So I go back up there. I'm like, hey, the award for the best diarrhea pill goes to this guy. So he comes out. And then they bring me back. They're like, you're fired. He's pissed. The CEO is yelling at me. He's like, how could you say that? My wife is furious. You're such a misogynist. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is all Tonight Show stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope for Seinfeld with this. He's like, you're a disgrace. You should be ashamed of yourself. They fired me. They made me return the tuxedo. They gave the stack of cards to some random Indian guy, and he had to host the rest, and they sent me home.
What?
Yeah.
Did you get paid?
I had to fight for it, but I got like half the money.
So funniest story you got. Funniest story.
Funniest story?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right, well, I lost my virginity to a prostitute when I was 16. Yeah. I don't know if it's a great story, but I was in the French Quarter. It was Y2K. Remember that? That was a big deal. So it was the night before the millennium change. So everybody was on edge. You know, we thought the world was going to end and all that. And I was walking down Bourbon Street as a 16-year-old boy, fresh pubic hair, new haircut, you know. And I had my FUBU on. I was looking good. And, you know, this lady was on the balcony, hot older lady. Kind of looked like Jennifer Aniston after a fist fight. And she had a leather jacket with no shirt under it. And this is pre-internet porn, mind you. So that was like, we were just like, all right, we're going to plan here and just stare at that crazy coos all night. And she caught us staring, and she goes, why don't you guys come up? And we're like, oh, my God. We're flipping out, you know. And so we tried to go in the hotel. They said, no, guests only. You can't go in. So we went back, and we're like, hey, we can't get in. And she was like, I'm coming down. She comes down. She got the leather jacket. The boobs are out. It was insane. And she goes, you kids want to come up and throw some beads? And I was like, oh, she doesn't want to fuck us. You know, we're children. So my friend is like nudging her. He's like, it's Y2K. Fuck it. Take a risk. So I go, hey, look, I don't want to go into 2000 a virgin. And she goes, well, I won't let you. And that was it. So she brought us upstairs.
She told my 2 friends to go out on the balcony. By the way, she opened the door. There's a guy in a leather jacket and a Harley-Davidson hat and a white beard sitting in a chair staring at the door. And he goes, which one is it? And she points to me, and he goes, you 2, on the balcony. So this is like an arrangement they have. I don't know if that was her husband, her pimp, or grandpa. I don't know what it was, but yeah, they took them on the balcony. He closed the doors behind them. She hit the blinds, and she goes, how do you want to do this? And I go, I was so young and stupid. I was a virgin, and I go, well, I'll take a blowjob first, you know? She goes, I don't give blowjobs. And I said, you fuck kids off the street, but you don't give blowjobs? She didn't like that. And she goes, no, shut up, any other questions? And I go, are you clean? And she goes, do you want to do this or not? And I said, I'm sorry. And then she went to the bathroom, came out wearing nothing but socks. I was blown away. She was super pretty and all that shit. And she does the pat on the bed. I sit down next to her. And she goes, why don't you get a little more comfortable? Mind you, I was wearing a leather jacket, a sweater, a shirt under the sweater, jeans, and shoes. So I took off the jacket. And she goes, do you have a condom? I said, yes. I pulled out a condom from, like, the Reagan era. You know, this thing was old and stretchy and yellow. And she was like, hang on. She opened a drawer. She had lube, condoms, butt plugs, sex toys, dildos, vibrators. I was like, oh, my God, I'm in way over my head. So I was too scared to show her my full package, so I just stuck the dick through the boxer hole because I was nervous. And we had sex for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. The whole thing was insane. I remember she had the worst breath, probably from the guy she blew before me. But horrific breath. But it was great. It was a great time. She taught me a lot. And I got out of there. I pulled my pants up. I felt violated. I felt weird. I opened the door. My friends fell in. They were drinking out there for hours. So they're like, I got sloppy seconds. And I'm like pulling them out of there, you know. And we went home, and I guess I'm a Me Too survivor. Because, you know, I was assaulted. I was young. I was 16. So she's a pedophile by law, you know. But she's got to be dead by now, you know. That was 20 years ago, and she was at least 58. So there you go, sir. All right, yeah. I don't know how long that was, but yeah. Best night of my life, still. That was Betty White. No, all right, okay.
Have you done Ari's storytelling show?
I did. I bombed. I feel horrible about it.
Did you really? What was the story?
It's a great story, but it had no ending. And Ari was like, all you need is a good ending. Just don't worry about the story. Have a good ending.
Wait, what's the story?
I had sex with my screenwriting teacher, and I worked at a New York Film Academy. And one of the teachers there, it's a long story, but basically my shower didn't work in Crown Heights, so I went like a week without showering. I smelled like shit. My boss said, you got to shower. You can't come in. And so I was going around asking.
Hold on 1 second. You literally didn't shower to the point where people were like,
yeah,
hey,
it was bad.
You got to take a shower.
I couldn't do it because I was doing sets at night, and then I'd wake up. You know, you get home at 3 a.m. You have to wake up at 7 for work. So we run out of there. And we had no hot water, and we had no electricity in our apartment every now and then. So it was snowing out. It was too cold to take a cold shower. And so eventually I put a fucking pot on the stove. I boiled it in the dark, and I was like, I'm just going to take a whore's bath in the kitchen, get it over with. The lights click on after I done showering. My fucking roommate cooked stovetop stuffing in the pot. So now I'm covered in BO and like spices and shit and herbs. But it was too late. I had to go to work, so I had to run out. I smelled like Thanksgiving. So I remember getting on the train. It was the 4 train. It was all, I was the only white guy, and black guys were like standing over, like,
Hold on.
sniffing me.
Hold on. You took a horse bath with stovetop stuff?
Yeah, well, I put a pot on. I filled it with water, and turned out it was dark, so I didn't know it was covered in corn nuts and shit, cornbread.
So you smell bad, but now you smell even worse.
Now I smell like
herbs.
a home cooked meal. Yeah. It was brutal. So now I'm desperate. I get to work, and I'm covered in this film, and I got like little parsley pieces on me. So I go up to everybody, and one lady, the screenwriting teacher, Mrs. Fritz, we'll call her. I go, hey, look, can I shower at your place? She goes, sure, I don't care. And I was like, oh, my God. She was like kind of cute, like 40-year-old, quirky, weird earrings, big beehive kind of thing, hairdo. And she was like, yeah, sure, just come over. But I'm having a dinner party at 8. So if you don't mind getting out of there, I was like, you got it, whatever. So I get there like 6. I bring a bottle of wine to be nice. I get there. She has a beautiful apartment in Brooklyn, all like a fucking spread on the table, just crazy setup, dishes, glassware, the placemats. And I'm like, oh, my God. She's like 8 things going on the stove, bubbling. I'm like, oh, my God, she's really doing this. So I get in. I go, hey, look, I'll take a shower. I'll be out of your hair. No problem. She goes, sure, but have a glass of wine. We don't really know each other. I have a glass of wine. We have 2 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of wine. We're talking about life and love and philosophy. We're going at it. And I was like, look, it's 7:10. I got to get in that shower. She goes, all right. Well, are you hungry? And I'm like, I guess I'll have a bowl. She made paella. I was like, yeah, I haven't eaten good in 3 weeks. I'll take a bowl of paella. So now I'm eating the paella. We have another glass of wine. I'm like, hey, look, lady, it's 7:30. I got to get the hell out of here. You're having a dinner party at 8. So she's like, all right. So I get in the shower, and I'm hammered at this point. I've had like 6 glasses of wine. And I remember being in the shower, washing my body and be like, this is so nice. And then I go, am I going to fuck this woman? No, what are you kidding? Get out of here. It's fucking, 20 minutes till people show up. So I get out of the shower. Now it's like 7:48, I'm like scurrying, like, all right, I got to go. Thank you. And she goes, have one more glass. I'm like, all right. And she's like, let me give you a tour of the apartment. We're walking around her apartment. She's showing me knickknacks and whatever. Now we're standing up on her couch looking at a painting on the wall. And we're both looking at it. We're like face to face. And she goes, you know what? And I go, what's that? She goes, I want you to come in my face. Swear to God, I want you to come in my face. And I go, all right. And now we're just going at it. We're on the floor, rolling around, knocking coffee tables over and all this shit, just fucking. And she pulled this string or something, and all the lights went out in her apartment. And we're just going at it. And it was nighttime, just hot, dark sex. I wake up the next morning, there's blood everywhere. She was on her period. And, I mean, I just didn't notice it because of the dark. It was just fucking beet red crime scene thing. Yeah. And I had work the next morning, so I just had to, so I went from being the cleanest I've ever been to now I'm covered in uterine lining. So I had to just put on clothes and go to work. And I remember on the way out, she was like, don't you tell anybody. And I was like, all right, I won't. And of course, I told everybody right when I got in. But, yeah, that was it. You're not going to believe this one. It was the last week of senior year, so we're just getting crazy. We're about to graduate. So we're at this park having a big keg party, just middle of the day. So then...
Is this high school or
This
college?
is high school. I went to a Catholic high school. We're in our uniforms.
Yeah.
We got like a half day, so we're like, let's go to the park. We've got a keg. We're out there. It's like, 100 of us drinking. So my friend Packy, who was like a sophomore, he wasn't Pakistani. His name was like Packenstein, Jeff Packenstein or something. So we called him Packy. And
He shows up with my friend Dirty Turk.
So he was this crazy kid who we let hang around us. He was way younger. He was like 2 feet tall, skinny as hell, but he would do anything you said. Like, go jump off that building, go say a racial slur in front of that guy's
That's like
face.
a jackass.
It was like Jack, but he was fearless.
That guy really shined for a little bit.
He was.
I think his name's Steve-O.
Yeah.
And he's still doing pretty good.
In and out of boarding school, like parents killed themselves in front of him. One of these kids, just seen it all. He was up for anything. So he goes, oh, I got to get something. Oh, there's a house party. There's a house party. So we jump in my car, at a convertible. We jump in my car. We're going to this house party. We're in our uniforms and everything. And it's rush hour now, so I'm trying to get into a lane to merge off the highway. And I go, hey, man, can I get in? Can I get in? The guy goes, nope. Gives me like a hard nope. And I was like, fuck this guy. So I get in behind him, and I bump him just for the hell of it. We're hammered. It's 5 o'clock. We're shit-faced.
Bump him.
I give him a little taparoo. So he's like, in the mirror, like, what the fuck's going on here?
Into my car.
And we're doing like blow me. He had a ponytail. It was a whole thing. No offense. And so he's like, fuck you, I'll kill you, whatever. And then we're like, oh, this guy wants to play. So I tap him again. Now he puts the car in park. He gets out. So now we're like, well, I guess this is on, But there's 2 of us. I got Packy here. Packy will fucking just lunge at him like a rat.
Packy, real quick, take out his knees.
Yeah, I'll just claw his neck. So he gets out and he walks past me. So I'm kind of like ready. Walks past me, goes to the back of the car, reads my license plate, memorizes it, walks back up, slams his fist on my hood, and gets in his car. And I was like, well, that was weird. So now traffic's kind of moving a little bit, and I'm like, fuck this guy. What?
Cop?
No. He had like sandals on and shorts. He was like a hippie kind of guy. So now I'm like, well, that was weird. But he's on a cell phone. This is when cell phones were like, if somebody's on a cell phone, you noticed it.
Yeah.
Big brick. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So now we're on the main streets, and I'm following him, but something's up. And then he gets to a green light, stops, and I stop behind him. And everybody's like, why isn't this guy going during the green light? There's a bar on the corner. A guy runs out of the bar, jumps in my convertible.
Jesus Christ.
Crazy. He had a leather jacket on. He was just day drinking at some bar. It was fucking, we're like, he's in the back, and I'm trying to drive.
Packy?
Yeah, Packy. So I'm driving now. The guy in the car peels off. He's like, I'm out of here. Fuck these guys. But my friend will handle this, the ex-con or whoever that guy is. The guy who waits at bars for the phone call. So
Bill, it's for you. It's Jeff. I've been waiting for this call for 5 years. It's time. This man saved my life back in Nam, and I owe him one.
He just pushes his drink for it. He goes, put it on my tab.
Yeah.
No, he just takes a drink, shoots it, and he goes, fill another one. I'll be back in 5.
He runs out, fingers. Door slings open, cling, 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 jumps in the back seat, pulls Packy back there. They're having a fist fight on their knees in the back seat, just like a cartoon. So I'm just like, driving, looking backwards, trying to not kill myself.
Why are you still driving?
Because we're on the street is moving. So I'm like, and I'm like trying to do swings like back here, like trying to help Packy, like doing some backward hammers, like trying to get this guy.
Like a mom disciplining her children in the backseat. You guys stop it.
Yes, exactly.
I will turn this car around.
Exactly.
Take you back to your creepy bar.
So this is a man. This is a guy's, balding. He's got a leather jacket on with patches on it, and he's got a half a beard. This is a dude
beating up kids in a convertible.
beating up a kid, but. That retard mom strength kicks in where you're just like scared for your life, fight or flight. So Packy's like, it's just one of those, windmill. And so I just scream, I go, Packy, push him out. So Packy gets some kind of demon in him, and he just gets up under the guy and goes, and the guy goes over the back seat, off the trunk, rolls onto the street, and then like cars behind go, try not to hit him. Somebody runs over his hand. And I'm like, the guy goes, I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So we go to the house party, and we're like, oh my God, you're not going to believe. We're telling everybody. I got a whole powwow around the living room. I'm like, this crazy Packy pushed him out. It was insane. And Packy's just sitting in the corner smoking, not saying anything. He was a psycho. I think he's since died. But
you should have Packy with you at all times.
I think he's dead now.
Yeah, there's no way that guy's alive.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He got the HIV or something.
Packy took that guy's seat at the bar.
Yes, exactly. That's the only way to get that seat if you kill the guy before.
Wait. So how does the story end?
All right, so we're at the party, and I had a beeper at the time, and it was one of those douchey clear beepers where you could see the electronics inside.
Yeah.
So my mom was going like, call mom, 911, mom, dad, call mom, we love you, what happened, and I'm like, whoa. So I call my mom, I'm like, hello, trying to be sober. And she's like, the police are here. Get the fuck over here. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you did, but I got 6 cops in the living room. I'm feeding them coffee. They're all waiting. You're going to jail. Come over. Hung up. And I'm like, oh my God.
Packy, quick, get in the car.
So I was like, oh fuck. And here's the clinker. This is where I got saved. So I go, I guess I got to go home. And my friend Jay goes, wait. If you're going home, you reek of booze. You look like hell. Swallow a big gulp of this. And he handed me a jar of Jif. If you put peanut butter in your mouth, you can't smell booze. I didn't know that. Some guys keep peanut butter in their glove box just in case they get pulled over. It works 100%. So I was like, all right, I put the peanut butter in. I drive home, and this cop car is all out in the front lawn and everything. And I go in, they're all sitting there. And my mom's like, this is him when he was 14. And she's showing him like the scrapbooks and shit.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. He was a bedwetter. Here's his monkey boo. And it's a little, toy with the eye missing. So I go in, they're like, son, we got to have a long talk with you. You're in deep shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they go, well, just don't lie to us. And they keep looking at my eye, and they keep going, let me smell your breath. I went, and they go, oh, well, he smells like peanut butter.
Like any normal 18-year-old kid, peanut butter
at
jelly.
midnight, full of peanut butter.
Yeah. So the guy goes, a guy says you ran over him with your 71 brown Cutlass convertible. And they go outside. There's my 71 brown Cutlass convertible. They're like, well, this checks out. And I go, I'm going to be honest with you. A guy jumped in my back seat, and we pushed him out, and that's all we knew. Self-defense. And the guy goes, all right. And then I had to go to court with my dad like 2 or 3 times.
Another case solved by New Orleans finest.
All right.
And that was it. Yeah, I fucked everything in that year. I mean, I banged a chick in a homeless shelter. I was going on the road as much as I could. It was
Wait. Go back to the homeless shelter.
crazy story. I met a girl at a show. I got her number. We met up like a week later. I went to a bar called Alligator Lounge where you get a free pizza with every drink. So I met up with this girl, and she's just wolfing down these pizza slices, putting them down. She was like a cute blonde chick. And I was like, you all right? She's like, I got to be honest, I'm homeless. And I go, what? I'm homeless. So we started bonding on the homeless thing, and then she told me she's in a shelter, and I'm like, oh, so we're making out. And then she pulls me away and goes, wouldn't it be crazy if we went to my shelter? And I was like, yeah. Go back to making out, pounding booze. Before I know it, we're in a cab on the way to the shelter. And that's a funny moment, by the way, being in a cab to a homeless shelter. So we get there. It's way out in Brooklyn, big stone building. And she's like, I just realized they're not going to let you in. It's pretty regulated, you know. So there's this guy in the front. You have to like be buzzed into this huge gate, big metal gate that slides open and goes, you know. Yeah. So she has this big hobo key to the shelter. It's like a key with a hubcap on it. And she's like, maybe you could go in and just act like you own the place. Go in with the key and just walk right in. You won't have to sign in. I was like, all right, that's good. So I go in. I go, homeless, you know, tough, riding the rails. You know, I'm swinging the key. And the guy's like, yeah, whatever. It's 4 a.m. And she just walks in and goes, hey, I'll sign in because she's actually there, so they know her. So she goes, whatever you do, don't get caught. I'm on the 3rd floor. It's the women's floor. You get caught on the women's floor, you'll go to jail because, like, you know, I can't go up and rape women. Yeah. Bunch of hobos up there, you know. And I remember I walked in. There was this big pit. It was this big floor, and it was full of people on cots, people in sleeping bags, people crying, people screaming, people like kind of wrestling. It was wild. Babies crying. It was crazy. And I go up to the 3rd floor, and I run to her room, and I open the door, swing the door open, and it's got 2 cots on the wall, jail style, stains on the walls, just shitty cracked window. And I was like, oh my God. She comes in like 10 minutes later. We have crazy hobo sex. We go at it. Thank God I had a rubber. Who knows where she's been. And the next morning, I had this crazy, like, beer piss I had to get out of me, like booze piss. So I had the big stomach, and I was like, I got to pee. She's like, you can't go to the bathroom. You'll get caught. And I go, I got to go. It's an emergency. So I get the key. I run to the bathroom. I'm peeing, and a girl comes in. I'm in the stall. A girl comes in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, shit. So I have to sit down and pee, you know, so she doesn't know I'm a guy. And she's just dropping fucking soup cans in there. I mean, this girl next to me, hobo shit. And I just pull my pants up and get the hell out of there. I give her a key back. I say, thanks for nothing. I run home.
That's fucking crazy.
It was wild, yeah.
Are you a drug guy or?
No, not a weed guy. I can't do it. I'm too fucked up. The weed brings out all the demons.
Yeah.
It doesn't suppress them like alcohol, which I need.
You like booze and uppers.
Yeah.
But
Booze and uppers.
But you don't seem like lots of you have your darkness. It's from your childhood?
I think so. Yeah, I had a weird childhood.
How so?
Well, let's see. My dad got a wild hair up his ass and bought a mansion, dilapidated mansion in a poor black neighborhood. So first of all, the house was fucked. We barely had running water. It was, you know, we'd have family meetings like, all right, go shit at school. Don't shit here. We need the water. And then my dad started running out of money, so he made the back half of bed and breakfast, like old style bed. So my mom's whipping up pancakes at 8 a.m. and I'm like, can I get one? She's like, blow me, dick. Eat a bowl of Cheerios, you cunt. And so I was like, all right, sorry, Jesus. And so my parents were workaholics. They're checked out. You know, they were nice people, but they're just like, hey, we gave birth to you. You figure it out. Yeah, go watch TV.
There's no attention.
Yes. Dr. Drew, I just
Best
did his
thing to
podcast.
happen to a fucking comic.
Maybe, but boy, it's sad.
Don't give them attention.
Yeah. So what Dr. Drew say?
So he said, because I was like, my mom didn't react. Like, I have girlfriends, I'll introduce her to my mom. They're like, whoa, that was tough. I felt like I was bombing in there. I'm like, welcome to my life, you fucking whore. Jesus Christ. 20 years of that shit growing up. And so,
like, bombed in there.
No wonder you need laughs from fucking strangers.
Exactly. Like, ask me a question. Just ask me a random question. This is my mom.
A random question. Where are you from?
What time is it? Where are we? You know, it's just like, oh shit, sorry.
She won't engage.
Yeah, and she's not mean. She's just got her
checked out.
Yeah, she's just like thinking about, all right, I got to pay the bill, I got to water the plants, you know. And you're like,
did you have brothers and sisters?
Older brother, and he's a genius. He's like this, you know, math computer wizard. And our neighborhood was so dangerous that he just
head into a computer like as a kid, and he just became like DOS and shit.
Did you make friends in the neighborhood with the black?
Yeah, but then you got into fights, and there was a lot of racial tension. It was the 90s, and bikes were stolen, and we got robbed all the time. We had this crazy alarm going off because our house was so big, and I'd be like an 8-year-old kid, and you just hear like glass breaking, and then woo, 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 and I'm just like, I'm in my room like hugging a teddy, hoping I don't get raped by fucking Leroy, and you go downstairs and hey, the TV's gone today, and that was a Tuesday. And we got robbed all the time. My dad, he's like N-word rich, where he's like, oh, we're going to buy a shitty Lexus, but it's a Lexus, so the Lexus would get stolen. He's like, all right, he'll give me like cab money to go to school and shit. And that was just how it was. I remember I told this story on Rogan, but I got my bike stolen. Just street toughs, they would rub their front tire on your back tire, and that meant like, oh, you're fucked. And they would just take your bike.
What was the last almost fight you got in?
Well, we got into a rough one in New Orleans. We were just feral kids with nothing to do, so we'd just get drunk and we would drive around and break side view mirrors off cars. That was like our pastime. We were pieces of shit kids. And we hit the wrong car. It was one of those Lexuses with the hard top would go down, those sexy sports
that was
cars.
A good car.
That was a hot car. It was right when it came out. And we're like, oh, we're going to knock this one off. So you take off your Doc Martin, and my friend just wild back, boom. And the mirror went everywhere. We're all laughing. And this guy comes out of the house. Big, buff, Asian dude with a ponytail in boxers. Runs out, and it's like a high porch. And he comes out, he's like, what the fuck? And he has like a roid rage. Runs down the stairs, jumps in the car like a movie, ponytail flailing. And we're like, let's get the fuck out of here. It was 3 of us, but this guy was huge, Asian guy with a ponytail. You can't fuck with that.
No.
So I'm like, drive. I'm in the backseat. It was a Jeep Cherokee, so not the fastest car. So I know New Orleans. So I'm like, go up here, go down this one way the wrong way. He won't follow us. He followed us everywhere, and he has a knife. So he's pulling up next to us. He's going, I'll fucking cut you. And we're in high school. We're kids.
I think they're called samurai swords. Keep going.
Yeah. And we're just like, oh, shit. So I go down the causeway. The causeway is the longest bridge in America. Theo Vaughn lived on the end of the causeway. That's how Louisiana works. New Orleans, he lived in Covington, which is the end of the causeway. It's like a 26-mile bridge. I was like, he won't go on the causeway. We'll just gun it. He won't go. It's too far away. It's like driving to, Staten Island or something. So we're like, all right, let's go on the causeway. He's going the whole time, pull up next to us, trying to get in front of us, behind us. He's just showing us the knife. We're like, fuck, this guy won't leave. Pre-cell phone, everything. This is like 1998. And I'm like, fuck. Now we're in a traffic jam. There's a wreck up front. We're in a traffic jam. He's about 3 cars behind us. And we're just like, okay, there's a bunch of cops up there. He's not going to come up. Next thing you know, slicing the car up. He's like, got the knife on the window. He's like, get out, motherfuckers. Fight me, you pussies. Come on, fight me. He's doing this shit. We're like, we're in our uniforms. And he eventually starts rocking the car, kicking the car. He kicks the side view mirror off, like a little payback. And we're just like freaking out. The cops catch wind of this. They see a crazy Asian guy shirtless slicing up a car. So they tackle his ass. They tackled him. And then they're like, what happened? We're like, we don't know. This guy came after us. He's crazy. He's roid raging. So they fucking tased him and they put him in jail. And he's like, you have no idea. They come, So he goes to jail. So we're like, woo, we dodged that bullet. 2 days later, we're in high school, get called down to the principal's office. Hey, you're being sued. Something's going on. You got to go to court. We're like, God damn it. So we go back to my buddy's house. We stay up all night, make up a plan. We made up a whole story. We did a hear ye. We did a courtroom reenactment, built this whole idea. We go to court. 2 days later, we skip school, go to court. He doesn't show up. And we're like, oh my God, we were going to lie. I had this whole scheme plan. Killed a guy the night before. So he never showed up. So he's probably in jail for life. And I remember I prayed to God the night before. And I was like, please don't let this guy show up. So thank God he killed somebody. Thank you, Jesus, for I feel bad for the guy who died. But they dropped it.
Fuck.
Yeah, crazy.
Have you ever done anything with a trans?
No, I'm not against it. Actually, I got blown in Mexico by I believe a man. I don't ask questions.
Did you sneak him into the shelter? Or
No. Me and my friends went to Tijuana, as you do. We were like 18, whatever. And they were all getting whores, and I was like, I don't want to do that. That feels weird.
Yeah.
Mexican whore, you don't know what's what.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I went to this bar, and I got blown. And I remember the guy had rock hard tits, and I touched his hair, and he was like, don't do that, because it would move.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I walked out, and I was feeling pretty good. And my friends were all standing outside like, you didn't go in that bar, did you? I was like, yeah. And they're like all busted out laughing. So it was a quiet drive home.
Yeah. So you definitely got blown by a trans woman.
Yeah, I think it was just a dude in a wig.
Yeah, yeah. So not even trying.
Yeah, but amazing BJ. I mean, they know the equipment.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I had a condom on.
Is it better?
You had a condom.
Oh, yeah. Way better. Way better. She knew what to do and all that. It was amazing.
Everybody is bi.
Apparently.
You're right.
I guess you're right.
You should be able to say all the jokes then if you've been there.
Oh, good point.
For real.
I'll take it. N-word? I fucked a couple,
Black guys?
black ladies. Very intimidating. I know you like the white gal, the white coos. Okay.
Everybody.
The black gals. You've been with a few.
Nah,
Oh,
not yet.
right,
Not yet. Hopefully.
Okay.
They're intimidating. Why are they intimidating?
Wow, you just assume the Lakers have been in there, and just all the giant men.
Tough follow.
Yes, exactly.
The Lakers have been in there.
I don't have a tiny penis. I'm not saying I'm small, but I'm not huge.
Right.
So,
Right.
You're not LeBron.
Right.
yeah, I'm no LeBron. I'm more Curry, but I'm Bugsy Bogues. But I got good veinage. I'm all vein.
That's what girls like, for sure.
You think?
No?
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I've had so many bad heckles, but the one that really fucked me up was I was kind of new. I was probably like 3-4 years in. I got a college gig, which was huge. Yeah. Good money, fly you down, put you up. And it was in Florida, and it was called Florida Atlantic. It was an all-black school, which I didn't know, but I don't give a shit. Yeah. So I show up, and I had to follow a rap group. It was like kind of a talent night. I had to follow a rap group, and they were like twirling shirts going, kill Whitey, fuck the cops, I'll kill you, fuck this bitch or whatever. And they're killing. Like the whole place is jumping.
Yeah. It was the DNC, basically.
Yeah. And I remember there was like a little cute, nerdy black girl with a clipboard going, okay, you're next, and I just want to let you know it's very diverse. I'm like, it's not diverse, it's all black. I'm the diversity. But whatever. So it was me and this other kid, and we were both supposed to do 30 minutes. So these people don't want 30 minutes of one guy. So he goes up first, and they trash him immediately, and he gets off after like a minute and a half. And I was like, what are you, crazy? You got to do your time at least. So he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. I'm calling my agent. He was like he had self-esteem, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm like, all right. And then they bring me up like, oh, we got another live one coming up. Oh, baby. And he's looking at me like, oh, this guy's a goner. Like, I totally set up for failure. So I walk on stage, and I'm walking to the mic. The mic is like right where that camera is, and I haven't gotten there yet. And some guy goes, look at this fag. Kills. It's huge laugh. So I was like, all right, I can handle this. So I was in such a New York state of mind. I was like, damn, man, what if I was actually gay? And he goes, no, you are. That got an applause break. He's getting high-fived. They're crowd surfing this guy. He's a hero. And then I try to do 20 minutes on Uber after that, and I just ate my lunch for half an hour. But I did my time.